dear viewers, and welcome to our daily debate. At the beginning, I would like to wish all our dear viewers a very happy feast. And today we are going to talk about the Decent Life Initiative. That would be the topic for our debate for tonight. But to start with, I will like to greet my dear guest in the studio, Dr. Nevine Nakhla, our business administration consultant and professor of strategic management. Always a pleasure to have you with us, Dr. Nevine.
Thank you so much, and happy Eid for everyone, the best feast in the world, and everyone enjoy.
Thank you so much, Doctor. And before starting our debate for tonight, we'll be taking this report about the Decent Life Initiative, and we'll be back to start our debate for tonight, so stay tuned.
Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has reviewed latest developments concerning the implementation status of the first phase of the presidential initiative Decent Life, which aims to develop the villages of rural Egypt. During his meeting with the concerned ministers and key state officials, Premier Madbouli reiterated the government's interest in monitoring the implementation of the status of projects in the first phase of the presidential initiative Decent Life by holding such periodic meetings to stay updated on the latest developments and to work on accelerating the execution rates of various projects within the initiative, especially since the goal is to complete this phase soon, aiming to put various projects into service and expand the base of beneficiaries. The Prime Minister pointed out that the projects of the first phase of the initiative are being implemented across multiple sectors in the targeted villages within the phase, with the total of 1,477 villages across 52 centers in 20 governorates, which will contribute to improving the level of services provided to citizens in these villages through projects executed in various service and development sectors. Prime Minister Madbouli stressed the importance of continuing to follow up on the status of project handovers that have been completed, ensuring their entry into service and that citizens benefit from the services they provide, achieving the desired goals of establishing such projects and maximizing the investments made. The number of villages where projects have been fully completed within the first phase has reached 348, including 95 villages in the past 2 weeks, and that there are 1,007 villages where completion rates have reached around 95%. Up to 150 villages are set to be completed within March, and the recent period, 843 projects across various sectors have been completed, with the total number of projects received in different sectors amounting to 3,398 in recent period. As for the rates of progress for various works in the projects of the first phase of the presidential initiative Decent Life and timelines for the remaining works across various sectors, there is a coordination and cooperation taking place with many concerned authorities to expedite the completion of projects according to the scheduled times. The total allocation for the first phase of the initiative amounts to £350 billion, with the percentage of investments directed towards human development reaching approximately 70%, while 30% is allocated to green public investments. The share of the villages in Upper Egypt governorates accounts for 68% of the allocations for the first phase, covering 34 beneficiary centers in 9 governorates, including 199 local units and 900 villages with a total of 11 million citizens.
مصر دايما لما تنوي قادرة تعمل معجزات في التاريخ دور تلاقي عنها مكتوبة حكايات بالعزيمة والإرادة كل يوم في إنجازات الحكاية في مصر فكر قالها نبني وقالها عمر قلب عون الله هنقدر عمره ما يقول استحالة قام وسمى الله أكبر خلى لون الأرض أخضر جنة سبحان اللي صور بص شوف بعينك تعالى. مصر جت قبل التاريخ والتاريخ جه بعدها حالة نادرة من الجمال صعب تلاقي زيها مصر أم الدنيا ليها سحر تاني لوحدها الحكاية في مصر فكر قالها نبني وقالنا عنبر قلب عون الله هنقدر عمره ما يقول استحالة قام وسمى الله أكبر خلى لون الأرض أخضر خلى سبحان الكون بص شوف بعينك تعالى
Welcome back, our dear viewers, and starting our debate for tonight about the Decent Life Initiative with our dear guest, Dr. Nevine. Dr. Nevine, how do you estimate actually the success of the first phase of the Decent Life Initiative, which actually encompassed projects in 1,477 villages spanning about 20 governorates? How do you see the success of the first phase with the aim of enhancing services for the residents of these 20 villages?
First of all, this is a miracle. That's a dream coming true, and it was a strategic plan. The whole government was all hand in hand, enhancing the whole ecosystem. For us to know that the Decent Life Initiative is the biggest worldwide initiative for humanitarian in the world. And it is a very holistic initiative. It's not a normal initiative like you're doing a program or something. It's a vision, Egyptian vision, a dream that came true on the ground. A lot of bridging the gaps between the rural and the urban areas. A lot of work took place. We are all very proud Egyptians with the Decent Life Initiative. We saw today in the report the 1,477 villages in 20 governorates in 52 centers around Egypt. They are completely changed from all aspects. It's a full ecosystem. All the ministries are getting together, all the NGOs, the government, and even the other organizations, everyone is coming together. We are very proud of phase one. Phase one proved to everyone that Egyptians can really do the best in the villages. Also, we saw that the amount of the villages, around 68% in the Upper Egypt.
And Upper Egypt was suffering to a great extent.
Exactly. And this is bridging the gap for services, bridging the gap for on all aspects. If we're talking about the health, if we're talking about the education, if we're talking about the infrastructure, we're talking about even the connectivity and the roads, the human development. Most of this initiative is concentrating on the human development and on the human asset that we have in Egypt. Egyptian population is more than 60%. We are a young population, median age of 24 years old. So the concentration on the human factor, on the standards of living, on the quality of living for everyone,
of course,
really no one is left behind. So we are all of us, we are very proud of this phase and looking forward for the next phase.
Yes. To what extent do you feel, Dr. Nakhla, that this initiative and the first phase in particular, which included the 20 governorate in the 1,477 villages, did help in including most of the population in these villages and governorates to be included in the Egyptian services, to be more included in the Egyptian services and society. To what extent they did benefit, they did feel the benefit from this initiative?
Yes. The first thing to understand more about the Decent Life Initiative, we should see the pillars of the initiative. The initiative have a health pillar concentrating on enhancing the health services in these villages. Most of these villages, if you have an emergency or you need a hospital or a clinic or a nearest doctor, maybe was 4 hours away. Now each of these villages, they have a hospital or a polyclinic or a mobile clinic and service, medical service. Also, the inclusion was in the health initiatives of the whole of Egypt. For example, the 1 million initiative, health initiative, the initiative of breast cancer checkups for women, the initiative of the kidney, and a lot of initiatives. They were only not reachable to these villages.
Of course.
Now it starts from these villages. It does not start from the urban or from from Cairo. It starts from these villages. So we saw on the health aspect is very fruitful and very important. If we look on the educational aspect, we saw that the classes were very saturated and crowded. We saw that the quality of education was not as is in these villages today. So a lot of new schools, a lot of new classes, a lot of schools built newly, and a lot of renovations. If we look on the pillar of vocational training, the pillar of initiatives for SMEs and for entrepreneurs, a lot of work done in this area as well for these villages, for inclusion and for including them. If we look for women, a lot of initiatives came from inside the Decent Life Initiative, like the women leaders of the villages from the Social Solidarity Ministry, and another initiative from the Ministry of Development and Economic Development. A lot of initiatives and incubators and support, even from the Central Bank of Egypt, to women in these villages. So no one is left behind. If you look at the infrastructure, the lining of the canals, this was a very important step. These villages used to have the canals full of mosquitoes, full of dirt, full of anything you want to say. Now they are lined. Distribution of the water to the lands for plantation is very fair and very equal to everyone. This lining, it even gave visual identity back to the villages. It looks clean and nice, like our old grandparents. Also, if we look at the infrastructure, the roads, connecting the roads together is very important for services, for education, for health, for everything. We saw also the infrastructure of clean water, sanitation, electricity. You know, some of these villages, especially in Upper Egypt, they were not lucky enough to have electricity in their villages. Now electricity is reaching each and every house. We had also some houses with no ceiling. Some houses, the building of the houses were not very well established. So even the houses of people themselves, it is renovated and well established. The infrastructure also for the fiber optics, for example, if we are talking in the years of COVID, the kids were not going to school and education was difficult and not reachable. But with the fiber optics and the internet in each house in these villages, it gave you know, exposure, and it gave culture, it gave a lot of support and a lot of services. Even the government have made in each village, from these villages, a center of governmental services, like a post office, like a lot of ATM machines, a lot of services.
Yes.
They didn't have that. They were completely underserved, and they were completely separated from the civilization, or from the, you know, they're not updated, and that was unfair. So the fairness and the equality that is taking place with this Decent Life initiative, we really have to thank a lot our beloved President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi for his vision,
Yes.
because it was mainly his vision and his will, and the political will of all the ministries, and all the political will of Egypt to make this on the ground. And all this happened with the hands of Egyptians, and with the money of Egyptians. So we are proud.
Yes, indeed. Doctor, can you assess the economic impact of this initiative on the rural development nationwide and the overall national economy? To what extent this initiative, the Decent Life, had an impact on providing opportunities for more jobs, and supporting the SMEs, as well as establishing the micro projects for most people who are less served and more in need in these 20 governorates?
Yes. The Decent Life initiative was not only concentrating on the infrastructure, and not only concentrating on the health issues, not only concentrating on the education, but a lot of concentration and a lot of initiatives for the youth and for the women. And if you are empowering, the women are 50% of the population, and the youth, we are saying they're like more than 65% of the population. The amount of empowerment that took place, the amount of microfinance, the amount of SMEs and entrepreneurship education, a lot of vocational training, a lot of human development took place. And this is, of course, it affects a lot our economical situation and our economical growth in Egypt as a whole. Our villages are the places that have the plantations, that have the handicrafts, that has the historical and the very special things in our country. So spotting the light on them and serving them, a lot of microfinance took place in these villages. A lot of small projects took place for women and youth, and a lot of support and loans and education, growing business from NGOs and from the civil society and from the government. We saw, for example, the sun-dried tomatoes projects that are supporting women in agribusiness. We saw a lot of support for the heritage and the old handicrafts in these villages. We even saw in these villages something very special, library and librarians working in these libraries.
All
in these villages
were very new for these villages, which were suffering from dire need for almost everything, the basic needs as well.
If you went to these villages before the Decent Life initiative, the water was not clean, no sanitation, no electricity, now they have all the decent life, quality of life and standard of life. Also, for example, the Ministry of Communication and Technology, they have a very nice initiative for fiber optics training for the youth. And then these youth, they go back to their villages and they work in the projects inside Decent Life initiative. They work in the project in their villages. This initiative, up till now, has created more than 300,000 jobs.
It's huge.
Creation.
I think it's a huge number for the first phase.
For the first phase. And these numbers are real, reported. Also, there is a big governance in the process of the Decent Life Initiative. A lot of evaluation and control, a lot of studies, and it is based on a real strategic planning and a real science and on the ground.
How far the first phase of the Decent Life Initiative, Doctor, has actually contributing in reducing the poverty level, especially in these 20 governorates, and of course in the villages that were served by this initiative?
Okay, the initiative is very much aligned with the vision, Egypt Vision 2030. And Egypt Vision 2030 is very much aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals. And I want to tell you that the Decent Life Initiative is really covering and fulfilling the 17 goals of the SDGs of the Sustainable Development Goals. And the poverty and the eradication or the reducing of the poverty is the first goal of this initiative. Of course, if your health is not good, if you are suffering from a kidney or virus C or something, how are you going to be productive? So the productivity of the people is very high now. This is one thing. The second thing, 30% of the Decent Life Initiative is concentrating on the sustainability and the green. So a lot of green projects are being microfinanced, and a lot of green projects and initiatives are being trained, a lot of training to villages and the people living in the villages. So if you combine all this, of course there is a reduction of poverty. If you are productive, if you are efficient, if we have a good waste management, healthy environment, even as I was saying, the lining of the canals gives visual identity and gives clean look again to our villages. So job creation, having SMEs and having entrepreneurs and women projects, small projects for women in these villages, empowering women also and financial inclusion.
It is a very important point here, Doctor, that you have mentioned here, empowering women. Unfortunately, we have been witnessing, especially in the rural areas and the villages, that many women were depending on themselves. They lacked the source of income. Maybe they were widowed, maybe the husband left, and many women were really suffering because they had no source to spend and to raise their children. So to what extent this initiative did help in solving this very critical problem?
Yes, it really helped a lot by the financial inclusion, by the support on different pillars. We have, the women of the villages are divided very strategically and very scientifically into different categories, like they are segmented. The older ones, they have their visa to get their money, to be financially independent. And if you work on a woman to be financially independent, you are giving her her dignity. You are giving her her decision making and allowing her to support her family proudly. So this was the first thing, to give the empowerment to the women by giving them their financial independency. So we have, like I said, a lot of segments. There are the segments of the youth, the entrepreneurs that are supported with small, micro, small, medium projects. And they have their own projects as entrepreneurs. We have the job that is created in the villages, and they are working in the librarian, fiber optics, other jobs, even in hospital or in a school, or in the newly built governmental services in this village. Also, a lot of them are trained to do more with the handicrafts, or more with the plantation, or more with the heritage inside the village.
Yes.
So this is a great equality, great support for women, and of course, with the healthy and the health initiatives, this is very important. Because also there is another initiative coming from inside the Decent Life Initiative for women, which is the family initiative. I can't remember exactly the name of it, but it's the Family Development Initiative. And this one, it really concentrates on women and women empowerment and teaching and training and even courses for newly married ladies, courses increasing awareness, awareness for their rights, awareness for their health, awareness for how to raise their kids, and awareness for their mental and their
physical, psychological, mental, everything.
Everything.
You are building the core for a normal, proper, well-educated or educated woman.
Exactly, exactly. Also, with the infrastructure that took place, and the infrastructure means more security. The infrastructure means more connectivity. Now they can move to other villages or move to the center to work or to teach or to learn. So I mean, this is all a whole ecosystem to serve and to empower everyone.
Yes. Doctor, the projects of the initiative have been fully completed in 348 villages, with almost 95% of those finished in the past stage. Can you update us on the progress being made so far, and what are we expecting in the second phase and the coming phase?
What is done now? 1,477 villages. We're talking about millions and millions.
Of course.
The initiative phase 1 was very successful, was very impressive to everyone. Even the houses, the colorful houses, these people, they didn't have a ceiling. Now they have.
They were almost living in kind of slums.
Exactly. Now
no proper services, nothing.
Yeah. Now they have houses like our houses.
Yes.
Like the houses in Cairo or Alexandria. So I mean, like the capital. So this is very important. Also, if we're talking about the children and the education and everything, this is very precious and very important.
Indeed. Doctor, as we have been talking that the infrastructure was developed, we are talking about improving the health services, the education, women empowerment, providing job opportunities for youth and women. What more the initiative is giving to the Egyptian citizen, and to what extent actually, how far the initiative has turned out to be beneficial to the residents of the served villages so far?
Yes, phase 1 was very relative and very important. It gave them a holistic view and a holistic support. Also, very equality and bridging the gap between the urban and between the villages, as we said. What we are expecting from the second phase, or what we are expecting to give more, is more waste management, is more efficiency in the usage of the electricity, more smart and more green. What also came out from this initiative is the green villages. We saw a lot of green villages from these villages, from these 1,477 villages, there are the green villages. The green villages with less carbon footprint, with localization of production, a little bit of starting of manufacturing and supporting manufacturing. So these are outcomes of phase 1 and also the vision for phase 2.
Yes.
With a lot of green, a lot of clean energy, and a lot of less carbon footprints, and more sustainability, and more into sustainable development goals.
Yes, indeed. We'll be continuing our debate here, Doctor, but we'll be taking this report. Planning Ministry reports 80% success for the Decent Life initiative, allocates billions for sustainable development.
The first phase of Decent Life presidential initiative has achieved an impressive 80% implementation rate, with over 23,000 projects actively underway, encompassing around 30,000 operations. Upper Egypt governorates received a substantial share, approximately 68% of the total allocations for the first phase, totaling around 237 billion Egyptian pounds. This allocation reflects the government's dedication to social protection and fortifying the role of public investments in this regard. The initiation of the second phase of Decent Life from the investment plan included allocation of 25 billion pounds for pivotal projects in areas such as drinking water, sanitation, canal lining, and other priority sectors. Minister of Planning and Economic Development Hala Said participated in a crucial session with the Planning and Budget Committee of the Parliament. Minister Al Said emphasized the commitment to Decent Life initiative during the meeting, allocating approximately 350 billion pounds for its initial phase. This allocation is in addition to the funds utilized from the investment plan preceding the inception of Decent Life. The second phase of the initiative commences with the coverage of approximately 1,667 villages, showcasing the holistic development achieved through Decent Life project. The launch of the initiative is aimed at developing urban complexes with funding injection of 10 billion pounds from the investment plan. This initiative seeks to strike a balance in development between rural and urban areas, towns and centers within the same governorates. Up to 30% of Decent Life investments is dedicated to environmentally conscious practices, supporting the state's goals for a sustainable and green investment plan. The Green Village initiative has been implemented through the Egyptian Green Building Association, showcasing environmentally compliant villages like Faris in Gharbeya governorates. The Central Bank of Egypt is reviewing means to meet essential financial needs of villagers being included. Upper Egypt is allocated 68% of the first phase funding, covering 34 beneficiary centers in 9 governorates, including 199 local units and 900 villages benefiting 11 million citizens. Furthermore, Upper Egypt accounts for 55% of completed school construction and renovation projects and 59% of completed healthcare service projects. Under the auspices of the Central Bank of Egypt and in collaboration with 11 banks, the banking sector participates in the second phase of Decent Life initiative, which aims to improve the quality and outreach of financial services provided to citizens through facilitating access to banking and financial services across 20 governorates, 52 rural centers, and 1,667 villages, in coordination with the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development. The bank's participation in the presidential initiative comes in alignment to the ongoing collaboration between the CBE and all relevant stakeholders, in addition to its various partnerships with different ministries and entities, including the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development, the Ministry of Social Solidarity, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and the National Council for Women, to achieve the targeted development.
تحية تقدير واحترام لبطل حقيقي. البطل ده هو مصر وشعبها. الحكاية مش حكاية لا حكومة ولا قيادة، ده حكاية كل مواطن في مصر. أكرمت مصر وشرفت مصر وعزيت مصر، انتم قتلتم. فالشرف كل الشرف والكرامة كل الكرامة والفضل كل الفضل لله سبحانه وتعالى، ثم ليكم انتم. شرفتوني واكرمتموني وعزتوني ورفعتوا راسي قدام الدنيا كلها باللي انتوا عملتوه. والله 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 لن يستطيع اي رئيس يقف مكاني هنا انه يقدر يعمل حاجه بدونكم. لن يستطيع. قصه وطن يتحدث عن نفسه، شعب اراد الحياه فاستجاب له القدر.
And welcome back, our dear viewers, continuing our interview here with our dear guest, Dr. Nevine Nakhla. Doctor, what is the importance of the continuous monitoring of the projects, including the water and sanitation infrastructure and the services facilities, and resolving any challenges that might be facing the initiative?
Of course, if we are saying that the Decent Life Initiative is a strategic plan for the Egyptian government and aligned with the Vision 2030, so if you put a strategic plan, you make strategy formulation, strategy implementation, and strategy evaluation and control. So the most important part of any strategy and of the Decent Life Initiative is the evaluation and control. And we see our government, as usual, very professional.
Indeed.
And the evaluation and control is very important to make sure of the sustainability of the projects. Also, the engagement and the feedback from the community itself, the feedback from the people in the villages is very important for the government, and the government is very much aware of this importance. Because if you do an initiative that is that big and that huge and serving people, you want people, first of all, to feel the ownership of this project,
of course,
and of this initiative. And if the government alone is working, someone in these villages can come and ruin if they don't understand and if they don't appreciate. So the amount of engagement of the civil society, the amount of engagement of the even the NGOs working in these villages. You know, in these small villages, there are small NGOs, not the big ones with branches, but you have the local NGOs, the local social people working on the ground. So the amount of evaluation and control is very important, first of all, to make sure that sustainability of these services, sustainability of clean water, sustainability of electricity, sustainability of sewage, sustainability of the lining of the canals, the fiber optics, the internet, everything. So the control is to make sure that they are at the same standard when they were created, at the same standard of the launch and the service providing. This is one thing. The other thing is the sense of ownership that is given to the people of the village, that this is done for you and this is yours and take care of it. So that was very important because if you don't teach the kids not to write on the desk, if you don't teach the kids that
not to ruin things,
they will feel the sense of ownership. This is ours. This engagement is very important. And also the feedback of what is missing for them. At the beginning of the initiative, we saw the need assessment was very crucial.
Of course.
And not all villages having the same standard, of course, the same standard of quality, but I mean not all villages had the same needs. So there was a very crucial need assessment for each and every village, what is missing and what is prioritizing the issues for them. If you don't have the water and sanitation in this village, it is prioritized then doing the lining of the canal. Maybe another village, the prioritization was doing the roads for the connectivity and for the support of building schools or building hospitals or polyclinics. So this is also was very important. So the evaluation and control is very important to know that you spent all this money for the better quality of the people's life. So you want to see this on the ground. And as we saw, the percentages of 80% of success and 95% of success in other villages, this is very monitored and monitored with KPIs, with key performance indicators to each and every village and to each and every service.
Of course.
That's the success of our initiative.
Yes, Doctor, that would bring me here to ask about a very important point that you have been talking about, which is the role of the NGOs and how they should be working in parallel with the government in order to reach the people and not to face resistance, because sometimes people may be reluctant to change. They are afraid of change, even if it's for the better. So how here the NGOs did play an important role in convincing the people that what is has been done or what we are doing is for your own benefit. It's for your, it's for you. And you have, as you have mentioned, to know that it's yours, you have to protect it, and you have to be a positive partner in that development process.
Okay, the NGOs before the Decent Life Initiative were scattered, and everyone was doing what they want. But now, with the Social Solidarity, Ministry of Social Solidarity digitizing and monitoring and evaluating the NGOs itself.
Yes.
And putting each NGO, of course, we saw that the law have changed. We saw that every NGO has to register. And even if they are registered, they have to renew their documentation and show a lot of seriousness. So now even these NGOs are monitored and evaluated. They are not scattered. They are not ad hoc as old days.
Yes.
They are very organized and working under the umbrella of the Ministry of Social Solidarity very properly. And also the NGOs now, they are segmented into different categories and different services.
Yes.
Someone is responsible for delivering of food, someone is responsible for goats and I mean livestock. Someone is specialized in health. So now the government knows with whom to do what.
Yes.
And who is capable of doing what. So this was the first part of organization and organizing.
Very important.
Very important.
Yes.
Because you want to know your partners. So they are real partners now with the government. They are not working under their own decision making or their own. They have amount of freedom, of course, to service, but under the umbrella organized. And also digitized, because we used to have also something very important in these villages. We used to have people that are very trained to go to 10 NGOs and take money from here, take food from here, take clothes from here. And we have others, they had dignity and they were never knocking the door on NGOs or knocking the door.
So they were not reached.
So they were not reached. Now this is not the case. Now everyone is reached. There is need assessment, there is scanning and real, also with a 1 million health initiative. It made a lot of scanning. Who's in this house? What is your income? And how can we serve you health-wise or money-wise or whatever, or education? So I mean, no, the NGOs now in the villages, in these villages, are hand in hand with the government and hand in hand with the Decent Life Initiative. And sometimes they have the delegation to do a part. And doing this part inside their villages, they get the locals to help them. So I mean the mother or the sister or the brother will be helping in doing something in this initiative,
Yes, of course.
or being served. So this is the kind of smart engagement
Indeed.
that took place.
Doctor, can you highlight the government's directives to prioritize the locally manufactured materials in construction projects to support the domestic industry as well?
Of course, if we support the local industries, this is very important for the empowerment and for the enhancement of the supply chain in Egypt. Because you don't want a lot of importation and losing your hard currency for importing something that you have the raw material in your country.
Yes.
We have a lot of raw material. We have a lot of handicrafts. We have
Indeed.
a lot of talent.
Yes.
We have the most important asset in the world, which is the human asset.
Yes, of course.
And the youth, we are a very young population. So if you gather your assets, the resources, human resources, with the resources that we have in the villages, and a lot of vocational training, a lot of empowerment of youth for entrepreneurship and for industrialization and in local manufacturing. This is a double sword. You're reducing importation, enhancing your capabilities and ability to produce and to manufacture inside our villages and inside our different places. And also, of course, this will enhance our economical growth. And it's very important for the supply chain as a whole.
Yes. To wrap up, Dr. Nakhla, indeed the Egyptian women and women empowerment was included in this initiative. To what extent women did benefit in particular from this initiative, and the labor market did benefit from the Egyptian women who are very talented and were somehow neglected, and they were not able to show their talents and use it in a proper way as well?
Yes. A lot of vocational training and training to these women added to the health empowerment and to the health awareness. This is very important, and it really affected the market. It affected the whole economical growth. And a lot of small projects, a lot of microfinance, a lot of financial inclusion, and a lot of things happening to them. For example, we saw the Central Bank of Egypt. They had a big initiative for women and youth, especially women, for financial inclusion. Now, if you want...
It's a very important point as well.
Very important. You know what they did, the Central Bank of Egypt, and I saw this, I mentor some SMEs, women SMEs, and I saw it with my own eyes. If you have a small project and you are not registered yet, you are in the unofficial economy, and these women are doing like a small handicraft or carpets or something with their hands, and they have a company, they name it and they brand it, but they couldn't go in the official system. The Central Bank of Egypt allowed women to go with their ID and open a financial inclusion account with no cost, no down payment for the account, no 50,000 pounds or 10,000 pounds to put in the account, just with their ID, and to name this account with their project name.
Yes.
And they have a POS, a Visa machine, they have a QR code that they can sell online. This is women empowerment.
This is what we need to facilitate things on citizens so they can be included. Doctor, thank you so much, Dr. Nevine Nakhla, our business administration consultant and professor of strategic management. Thank you so much, and happy feast.
Thank you. Happy feast to everyone.
Thank you so much. Our dear viewers, that will bring us to the end of this edition of the Daily Debate. Many thanks for watching, and happy feast.